What's up, Florida? It's your boy, Bert Kreischer.
The Machine.
I love three things: having a great time, making sure other people have a great time, and quality carpets delivered at a reasonable price. That's why if you're looking for some acrylic, wool, plush, Saxony, or level loop, none of that nylon shit, you need to find your way to a Kreischer Carpets. It's my dad's business, and he's right here. Say hi, Dad.
Hey, son, you can't say a swear on TV.
This is Flick Flops. Welcome back to Flick Flops, the podcast where we check out movies that are critically rotten and give them the sniff test for you. Today we're discussing the movie The Machine, a 2023 action comedy film starring comedian Bert Kreischer and Joker Mark Hamill, for those who get the reference. Did this wild goose chase through Russia get the thumbs up from us, or did we say NYET? Welcome to my comrade Andy as we talk about The Machine.
Hold on, let me take my shirt off like Bert does.
We know we should have done this whole thing shirtless.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, probably not.
For those that are listening, we are shirtless.
Watch.
If you're watching, we are not. If you're listening, we are shirtless, just like our boy Bert Kreischer. The Machine, Gary. I knew nothing about this movie. I mean, I do nothing except for I saw Bert Kreischer on the poster, so I was like, yeah, I mean, what the hell? The reason we chose it, let's go ahead and jump to this, and we'll go right. So we'll start this out while we're doing the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. The numbers. The reason we chose this movie, Rotten Tomatoes being our aggregator that we like to refer to, has this thing at 27% by the critics. That is completely rotten. Now, the fans have it at 87%. The audience. Say not the fans, the audience. Right. I keep fans. I don't really know why, but I do. Budget for this movie was $20 million. It is grossed since it's been released $10.7 million. So technically, I think that does fall in the flop category.
Yeah.
So that's the numbers. The writer of this movie, two writers, Kevin Bagel is his name, and Scotty Landis. Kevin is a guy. The only thing he's done that I could find any stuff on was he wrote on Scrubs, which I did not watch that show, so I can't speak to his writing to that. And he was a consultant to a degree on South Park.
Okay.
So I don't know where that falls. I couldn't find anything really on the other guy, Scotty. But clearly it's based on the comedy of Bert Kreischer, who I do find a little funny. So I went in with a little bias. I like Bert. I don't. Yeah.
I do that.
You look like one of them. I'm not a huge fan, but I mean, I think he's funny. Every time I see him, he makes me laugh. So I don't sit and watch his stuff.
Right. Yeah.
The director was a guy named Peter Atencio. I don't really know anything by this guy. I looked him up. There was nothing of note that I could see. He's done some stuff, not discounting what he's done. Just nothing I felt worth noting in this portion of the show. So I'll go first on this one, Gary, since we...
Hey, hold up, brother.
You got something?
Let's talk about... Sorry.
The ratings.
Right there. That was for you, Jeff, if you're actually listening to this episode. If you hate the music intros, got to break it up somehow. All right.
Yeah, that's how we let people know. I would give it this, Gary. I give it a 1 turd.
1 poo.
You want to give your rating, then we can discuss why I gave it 1?
Sure. I'll give it this.
Oh,
giving it a half TP.
The half.
Yeah. This is an earned half TP. I know there's a lot of times that we do that by default on movies that we very much enjoy, and that's our lowest rating. But for me, this one's an earned half, but I don't have a whole lot of complaints about it overall.
Yeah, and
there's a few things, but we can discuss.
And we should, I think, constantly remind people, because we do things opposite of every other critic rating system in the world. Ours is you want low numbers. You do not want high.
Yeah,
you don't
right.
want 5 turds or 5 TPs. If you get that on our show, that means your movie is a piece of crap that needs a lot of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Ours, if it's lower, and we don't have a 0 rating, but some have given 0 because they're that good. I had this one at a half, but I bumped it up to 1 because I could see where people would not appreciate this, and I would temper who I suggest watch this film. But I will say this: I loved it. I laughed out loud multiple times. I messaged you at one point in the movie when I said, Gary, I had to go show this. I had to stop the movie and go show it to my wife.
Although you didn't tell me what it was.
No, that's coming.
I'm waiting for all that.
I literally, it was because I'm watching this down in my studio area, and I had to I told you gotta come see this one scene. You have to see this because it's an inside thing between her and I, and she laughed out loud. I had tears in my eyes. Again, it's something stupid, but it's something between her and I that he does it in this movie, which was fantastic. So I'll show you. Let me change. So this is a visual. So if you're just listening to this, you want to jump on and watch some visuals. I'm going to show Gary here. He has not seen them. But I wanted to bring these up so I could just explain them as I went. I actually took pictures on my phone.
Took pictures.
I took pictures to make sure I could get these in the background. So let me see what my first note comes in at 39 minutes and 30 seconds into the film. Gary, if you can see that there. All right. Now I'm going to zoom in. I took a second shot.
I was going to say, I'm not really sure what part this is yet.
Let me change the background just one more time and zoom in on exactly why I laughed out loud.
Okay. Okay.
It says Tom is fat on the side of the wall in graffiti. I don't know who Tom is.
Or Tom.
But I'm watching this movie, and that's the first thing my eye sees is he's in Russia at this point. And in English, it's spray painted, Tom is fat. This just made me laugh because I'm like, that's an inside joke for somebody.
Yeah. By the way, so this kind of movie to me,
yeah,
is very much this kind where you've got a comedian that's getting his first chance at kind of having his moment with a film, like a Sandler or I don't know, name any of them. Chris Farley. And it very much has that feel. It feels like it's over the top. They're going all out for the and I love that. I actually really enjoy that kind of movie. I like where it's not, it's not super serious. I mean, this is not, we talk about this all the time. This is not blockbuster movie material here. This is just sit down and laugh and enjoy it. And the setup to it is so ridiculous. I know that the whole story about the machine is from his stand-up and from
is that really in his stand-up?
Yeah. Okay. That's where I first knew him from.
Yeah.
And I didn't look it up. I don't know how true. I mean, I know that he says all that's true that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know that the whole impetus to this whole adventure that they go on in this movie is true.
Right.
However, and I'm assuming that part's not, the genius of taking what was his biggest, the thing he's known from.
Yeah.
And turning that into, I just thought the plot was very clever in hooking that up. Not the out of the gate, guy going back to school, Billy Madison kind of thing. This is just something that happened, and then he's able to take that and make a film out of it. I thought that was really
it's an absolutely absurd premise.
Oh yeah. That was hilarious.
I thought done fantastically. I forgot to do this when we did the numbers. Let me do this real quick. I want to read this one review. This guy's name is Glenn Kenny, Kenny. He's from the New York Times. And it says here, his quote, "You may wonder if Kreischer is such a popular stand-up comedian. Why hasn't he done more television and movie acting?" Well, and he just leaves it at that. He just leaves it at well.
I had to back off the mic for that. Jerk.
So, I'll say this, Gary, and I was, when we have our conversations, I long for ways to tie in other movies we've talked about. So unlike Fool's Paradise, which was based off a guy who's supposed to be funny, this movie is a 180. This movie is wildly funny in a nonsense way.
Very nonsense.
Just like when you go to movies, you have to suspend reality. You have to let all that go. This movie makes zero sense, but the comedy hits. Yeah. This is along the lines of what's the Sacha Baron character he created.
Borat?
Borat. It's along the lines of it. It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
but funny. He
Yeah.
sells it. Okay. The next thing I have, Gary, at the 1 hour mark. I don't have a visual for this one because it was a little gross.
No.
The throat punch. And he's like, oh, it's so warm.
Yeah.
For those who haven't seen the movie, there's a point where his fist is inside of a man's throat because it's been slit open.
Did we talk about that one? Did we text about that at all?
No.
Can't recall.
No.
I couldn't remember if I mentioned the fisting thing or not.
And I don't have a picture. I just was like, that was just because his reaction it's funny to me. It plays well.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is totally absurd. This whole film is absurd. But that point to me just made me giggle out loud. 10 minutes later, at the hour and 10-minute point, he has been thrown off a train and is running and rolling down a hill. And he does a lot of body pratfall humor.
Yeah.
If you watch closely as he's rolling down the hill, he hits his head on a tree as he goes by. And it's silly, but I laugh because it's like, ow! he's end over end going downhill. That made him say ow because he hit his head on a tree as he went by.
Well, that's also important for the hallucination he has, I think.
Yes. I mean, it's stupid. So let me get to another picture, Gary, that made me... I paused, and I even was like, I need to talk to Gary about this.
Oh, no.
And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to save this because this is going to play well in the visual part of our podcast. Heads up, there may be some slight nudity here. Gary?
Why? Why is that on screen?
My notes are, what the F is this? Right here.
Let me just tell you something. I turned away from this when it was on screen when I was watching it.
On the back of the man's butt. What is this?
I don't know. I feel like if you're not seeing that, it's pixelated right now.
It's so casual. But I'm like, no one notices.
I'm assuming that's the old dude that's outside
bathing in the street.
Yeah. I was like, nobody needs to see that.
I'll leave that there for a second for those that are watching to enjoy.
Please
and then I'll move on to the next picture. The next and last picture that that's again funny. Just didn't notice. It just made me laugh was this. If you remember, Gary, when he pokes her leg, it says, "Does that hurt?"
That's right. Yeah. I couldn't tell what we were looking at for a second there, but now I see it.
It's a piece of wood sticking through her calf, and he pokes it.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that's something that you and I probably would have done to each other at one point in time, knowing full well it's going to hurt like hell.
Yeah. Andy said like this. Whap!
Yes. And then, honestly, right after this scene, and this is where I had to stop and bring Teresa down to watch this because when he starts to vomit and he does that,
yeah.
So I do that dry heaving all the time. And then, spoiler coming, he catches the vomit in his hand and puts it in his pocket. And she's like, why did you do that? He goes, I didn't know where to put it.
I'm pretty sure Tara laughed out loud at that part. She actually enjoyed that movie too, by the way.
Those are my notes. Those are
my notes are I enjoyed it. I laughed quite a bit. I walked away from going, I probably would watch that again, like soon.
I would absolutely. If someone wanted to watch this movie, I'd say, let's go.
Yeah.
I made a quick note that this reminds me of to put it in perspective, how to do quickly the elevator pitch of this movie. It's a funny John Wick because there's action. People are getting asses kicked in incredibly ridiculous ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yet it's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff that's going on in this movie. There's no way a man of Kreischer's size could do any of the stunts this guy did, except for all the pratfalls. Right. That he could do. But I mean, he's got moves like John Wick. Or Liam Neeson. You pick whichever action star that's unrealistic.
And he's got some good aim too with his first shot.
The one shot was
I don't want
That's
to.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't
And I
really
thought-
say anything to ruin anything, but
There was a moment, Gary, if you remember, and again, maybe this will spoil it to somebody, but I don't really care. When they knocked the big statue of is it Stalin or Lenin over, and there's the giant fist. I was hoping that Mark Hamill would have picked it up as a reference to Cockknocker from Kevin Smith. I was like, please, Mark Hamill, pick that up.
Yeah, that's funny.
We did not get that. It did not pay off. But I'll let you, if you have anything to say. I love this movie. I recommend it to just about everybody. It's funny. There's some gross humor, but it's funny. And again, I think deep down, you and I agree that we're still 15 years old. And
yeah, if you don't like silly comedy with action, kind of, then I would say avoid it. But
yeah, don't watch it.
Tara's usually my barometer for wide audience. If she can sit through it and laugh and enjoy it, then I'm pretty sure most people would like it. So I'm really surprised at the critic thing. I mean, obviously you've got to, they criticize everything, but they forget the fun, like we've said many times.
I'll say it to the day I die. Critics are douchebags. I mean, it's a cliche for a reason. And if it's not a cliche, it needs to be one.
We'd start one.
I avoid cliches like the plague.
Right.
But I agree. We say this probably every other episode. People forget to just go and watch a movie and enjoy it. Not every movie is going to be, Grapes of Wrath or Citizen Kane. Although this would be the Citizen Kane of fat guy humor based in Russia. There you go. Put that down. That's a quote from me.
21st century.
It's the Citizen Kane of Russian fat guy humor.
He's aiming for the next Chris Farley. I don't know. All right. Yeah, that's all I've got. Loved it. Go watch it. Enjoy yourself. Just sit down, have a laugh. You got another video or another picture coming?
No, I just noticed your name on the screen.
Just now?
I told you, Gary, I'm a simpleton. I don't pay attention to a lot
Unlike
of
the machine, I am, because if you case you're just listening, unlike the machine, I am the recliner. So
that's well played.
That's my name.
I mean, this is the kind. Listen, we say it a lot. We joke that we could write a better script. I think if you and I were let go to write a script, we could probably write something not as good as what we just saw. I think it was well written, but I think this is the kind of humor we would go for. Just nonsensical, and I think
probably why we like it so much is because this is right in our wheelhouse.
It's definitely in our wheelhouse. It is nothing. I mean, again, I'm not saying we could ever write something this good, but I enjoyed it. Well done. Laughed a lot. And I like Kreischer. So I'm going to take my shirt off again.
Oh, sorry. All right.
Do the weather report with my shirt off.
All right. We're out of here. Join us next time, people. And all you 4 or 5 of us, Mom, Dad.
We're flicking flopping.
Brent,
if you're still watching. Maybe Kev.
Jeff, he probably didn't get this far.
Loser.
Jerks. Anyway, thanks, guys. Peace.
Bye.